Well, hello there. Bon voyage. It's my favorite shirt for the winter, a sweater. Yes, we're having a wonderful rain in California, which is very rare. I would like to dedicate this show to education. Also, on the fact that it's funny during my master's program, our professor says, "Oh, you never know where you're going to end up. People wear different hats in the field. Uh, 9 times out of 10, you'll go into what you think is your, how can I say, your plan or idea of what you want to do for your career. But always, like 90% of the time, it will be something totally different. And that's true. I mean, for me, yes, a little bit, but not drastically 100%. And I was doing a really nice TikTok live yesterday and it did not save. So I'm going to try to remember what I said. So I was kind of giving my experience and journey as to how I ended up where I am in my field. Some people were curious, some people who wanted to go into psychology. Actually, let me go live. Sorry. Let's kill two birds with one stone. When you have on the clock and left up to the charger in the car, I don't know what that means. Oh my god. Okay. So I started off at Santa Monica College, which is a very I would say prestigious. I was very excited because I grew up in Long Beach and the West Side is different, not like West Side, but West LA, not like the West Coast West Side, but West Side. Um, Long Beach is nice too. Long Beach is huge, kind of like Los Angeles. And why did I wait till midnight to do this post? I don't know, but I dragged it out. So yes, Santa Monica was so different. Even though Long Beach has a beach, but it's kind of far. I grew up in North Long Beach, and to go to the beach, you have to drive like 40 minutes. And Santa Monica, the beach was like maybe 15-20 minutes. A different environment, different people, everything was different. So it was just new and exciting to be around something different. Um, so yeah, my professor, actually, I do not know what they call them in college. They're not really called professors, I don't think. Maybe instructor or I don't know. But she gave me a book about different things you can do in the psychology field, different, like, I don't know, different paths you can take. And I think maybe I was thinking small at that time. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like be a counselor. Like I thought, oh, that would be so nice to be a counselor. Just simple. And but then going for my associate's degree, learning about psychology, I had to pick a what do you call it, a major. So I decided psychology. Um, and then after that, it was like, okay, now what? And so I go to Cal State LA because there's nothing you can do with an associate degree. Like, come on. Maybe you can do some volunteer work, but it was like, no, I need a bachelor's degree to get some experience. Maybe I can do a little work in the field, but what? I don't know. So I went out to Cal State LA, and I was taking like tons of classes. And I even think then I still had no idea what my specialty or specialization would be in psychology. I was just like, let me knock out this like whatever they give you, like in order to get your bachelor's degree. Now I'm going for a bachelor's degree. You have to complete so many courses and like and it's psychology, you have to do maybe a biology class, anthropology, statistics, and those are all fun. What else I took? Like development class. Yeah, the time was brief. It was okay. And then I got accepted to UC Riverside, and I was already almost a year in. But I was like, yes, I'm out of here. Even though I had to kind of like start over. I think they did transfer some classes, but even then, I was just like, okay, knocking out everything, taking tons of classes, going to college to try to get classes completed that weren't available after UC Riverside, so I'm at a UC. And then even then, I'm just fulfilling the requirements, right? The requirement for the bachelor's degree, which was just a bachelor. There was no like specialization. You just got a psychology degree and that's it. End of story. There's no specific training or like blah, blah, blah. So even with that, there was really no way I can get a job because I had no experience. There was no, and I actually have a friend, he said he's doing an internship. I'm like, oh, that was never an option or mentioned. But anyhow, once I got in, I decided to go for a master's. I started to get a little experience. So I went for the BCBA. Behavioral analysis. I don't know what the CA stands for, but applied behavioral analysis. But unfortunately, after almost a year in that program, I thought, oh my God, this is not for me. I don't want to do this forever. Not forever, but I just knew I wanted to have more options, work with a broader population. And with that program, you can only work in a school setting, like elementary school. So I would have been like stuck forever just working in like an elementary environment or with children, specifically on the autism spectrum. And so I thought, no, I want to work with adults. I want to work with families. I want to work also maybe private practice or in a clinical setting. I just wanted to have all the options and also to be independent as far as like work. So with my research, I found out, the best method for that was to go for the marriage family therapy specialization. So that's when I transferred and I had to kind of almost start over. But hey, I was in it to win it, and that's what I did. Wow, I'm going to go 10 minutes. I'm actually so tired. I'm about to go to sleep. So yeah, I did that. The last year I did some training for a whole year. I did a practicum, which is like an internship, but it was non-paid. It was like, oh my God, very stressful. But I learned a lot, got my degree. But even with that, I couldn't find paid work. Everything was like, oh, you need more experience. And also the second component, I found out like, oh, also you need to get, in order to really work as a marriage family therapist, you just can't get a master's degree. You have to also get 3,000 clinical hours and non-paid, which nobody can afford to work for free for 3,000 hours. So I took a break. And when I say break is meaning I kind of like indirectly gave up, saying like, okay, I can do this. And I put it on the back burner for like a year or two. And then eventually I met somebody who kind of inspired and motivated me to get my hours again. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So yeah, I started to incur my hours. And so funny, not until I finished all my hours, they changed the laws to where you can get paid. So anyways, I got my hours. And then it's like, oh no, you're not done yet. Now you have to do the licensure process. You have to take 2 state exams, and that's like a whole other procedure. So then I had to like, and now how many years then passed since you got your degree? So it's like 11, 12, almost 5 years. You don't remember shit, especially we didn't go specifically all into theories. So I had to take up a course a training that costs thousands of dollars just to learn more in depth all the theories and et cetera, that you utilize with treatment planning that is on the state exam. So, and people don't know this licensure process is very like long and takes time. It's, I would compare it to passing a bar. People say like, oh, passing a bar is like the most horrific, challenging thing ever, and it's like 6 hours long exam, and if you fail it, it's like your life is over forever. Not quite, but kind of. You have to sometimes wait and sit out for almost a year. Well, they kind of changed it now. First, it was like 6 months. You have to wait to retake the exam. But not only 6 months, 6 months is when you can submit your application. And it will take the board like another like several months to process your application. Once it's processed, then you have to go process it to the testing center, which can take another couple of months. So now you're waiting a whole year just to retake the exam. And mind you, there are 2 exams. So could you imagine you failed twice, both exams? We're talking like 4 years maybe, just to become fully licensed. So, yeah, that's kind of where the story lies right now. Sometimes I think, wow, if I knew all of that, I would have just went for my medical degree and just became a physician, because damn, I probably would have been done by now. Like seriously. And I did do some research, and they did say getting this degree and license is equivalent and as difficult and complicated just as a MD. Yes. So, with that being said, I'm going to close this soon. Thank you for my follower or my watcher. If you have questions, if you are thinking about going into the psychology field, please drop the questions below. I know all about it. I should write a book. I should do seminars. I could do talks, etc., etc. All the different, loops and hoops. I wouldn't say like shortcuts, but I'm just saying, like, what do you need to do? What kind of program? It has to be part of the Higher Learning Association. It has to be accredited by American Psychological Association. Also, you have to accrue certain face-to-face time. You have to get supervision. There are like so many components and within components, within components, within components that are involved and necessary in order to be fully and become fully licensed, which is like, whoa. And yeah, and it's like at the one point it's like, wow, I'm in too deep already. I'm too deep to like go back or whatever. And so I'm just like, yeah, just finish it, just keep going. And just with anything in life, don't give up if that's what you really want. And yeah, just think of the big picture in the long run. Good night. Ciao. I hope this has inspired you. And if so, please subscribe and like this video. Good night.